She had to walk before she could run. Reading Fluency, Part 1. In a crowded Olympic stadium, Wilma Rudolph took off like a streak of lightning when the gun sounded. As this amazing athlete ran confidently around the track, she never lost her cool. Sprinting toward the finish line, Wilma used her peripheral vision to ensure that her competitors would not catch up. The crowd roared with elation as the fastest woman in the world finished more than 3 yards ahead of the other athletes. Against all odds, though Wilma Rudolph inspired many during that 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome, Italy, her childhood had been riddled with hardships. Wilma was one of 22 children born to an impoverished Tennessee family. When she was a toddler, her health deteriorated because of life-threatening illnesses. When she was 4 years old, Wilma contracted polio, a severe disease that causes paralysis. As a result, Wilma lost the use of her left leg. Having polio could have been devastating for Wilma. Instead, she faced her physical challenge with a positive attitude and never lost sight of her goal. Wilma's mother taught her very early to believe she could achieve any goal, and the first was to walk without leg braces. Once a week, the mother drove her daughter a 90-mile round trip to Nashville for physical therapy. The mother also instructed Wilma's siblings on how to massage their sister's legs. Done several times a day, this monotonous routine continued for several years. She had to walk before she could run. Reading Fluency Part 2. An inspiring comeback. Wilma's doctors had little hope their patient could ever be able to walk again. After they removed the braces, they were amazed to see Wilma could walk on her own. They were stunned by what this young girl could do, despite having contracted a crippling disease for which there was no cure. From then on, Wilma never looked back. To compensate for the years she had been in braces, Wilma became extremely active. As proof of her determination, she ran every day. She decided never to give up, no matter what happened. Wilma's brothers set a basketball hoop in the backyard, and she and her siblings played all day. Wilma became an avid basketball player at school, too. Ed Temple, a track coach from Tennessee State University, spotted Wilma in a basketball tournament and was extremely impressed by her athletic ability and potential. He invited her to attend a sports camp. Once again, Wilma's life changed dramatically, this time for the better. She had to walk before she could run. Reading Fluency, Part 3. An Olympic champion. The minute Wilma ran on a track, she loved it. When she was just 16 years old, she was qualified for the 1956 Summer Olympic Games in Melbourne, Australia. The promising athlete came home wearing the bronze medal she had won in the relay race. After high school, Wilma was awarded a full scholarship to major in education at Tennessee State University. But once again, Wilma had to overcome challenges. In 1958, having put her shoulder to the wheel both in class and during track and field events, she became too ill to run. After she had a tonsillectomy, the surgical removal of the tonsils, however, she felt better and started to run again. Unfortunately, Wilma pulled a muscle at a track meet in 1959, and Coach Temple had to implement a plan for her recovery. Wilma recovered just in time to qualify for the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome. In her individual sprints, Wilma outshone her competition and won 2 gold medals with ease. During the relay event, however, the team comprised of 4 athletes from Tennessee State found themselves in hot water. After a poor baton pass, Wilma had to pick up her pace and run like the wind to complete the last leg of the race. Wilma became the first American woman in track and field to win 3 gold medals. Of her feeling of accomplishment, she said she knew it was something nobody could ever take away from me forever. Giving back. The summit of Wilma's career might have been her achievements as an Olympic athlete. Instead, she went on to accomplish much more. After graduating from college, she taught school and coached track. Soon, Wilma was traveling the country, giving speeches to school audiences. To inspire others to do their best in spite of all challenges, She would note that triumph can't be had without struggle. Wilma achieved her. Dear grade 6 students, in this video I would explain our lesson She Had to Walk Before She Could Run. In the first paragraph, the writer is introducing the main character of this story, which is Wilma Rudolph. He said that she is an amazing, confident athlete. When we look at the first sentence, Wilma Rudolph took off like a streak of lightning when the gun sounded. This means that Wilma took off or started running very fast at the beginning signal, which is the sound of the gun. So here, when the gun sounded, is a sign of the beginning of the race. And while she was sprinting, which is running very fast toward the finish line, Wilma used her peripheral vision, which means that she looked at the edges or the borders of her eyes to ensure or to make sure that her competitors or the other runners and racers would not catch up or would not go ahead of her, and that she was the first one. In the second paragraph, the writer said that Wilma inspired many during that 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome, Italy, although her childhood had been riddled with hardships, which means that her childhood was full of hardships, challenges, and difficulties. It was not a normal childhood. So she was born to an impoverished or very poor family that lived in Tennessee in America, and she had 21 siblings, 21 sisters and brothers. And when she was a toddler, when she was less than 5 years old, her health deteriorated, which means that her health became worse because of the life-threatening illnesses she contracted later. When she was 4 years old, she contracted the polio, which is a severe disease that causes paralysis, and it leaves the patients unable to move or walk properly. And as a result, she lost the use of her left leg. She was not able to move her left leg. Having polio could have been devastating for Wilma or to anybody, but Wilma faced her physical challenge with a positive attitude. She was hopeful, she was optimistic, and she never lost sight of her goal. Because Wilma's mother taught her very early, when she was still young, to believe in herself and to believe that she could achieve any goal whenever she wants. And the first was to walk without leg braces. She was the first one to walk without leg braces. Her mother took her for physical therapy once a week, and the physical therapy is the treatment of muscle stiffness and injury. It's basically done by rubbing and moving the sore parts or massaging them. Also, her mother instructed and taught her siblings, Wilma's sisters and brother, how to massage their sisters' legs. Done several times a day, this monotonous routine continued for several years. They did this routine every day. It was a boring and dull routine. They did it for several years. Wilma's doctors had little hope their patient could ever be able to walk again. They didn't believe that, or they didn't hope that their patient Wilma could ever walk again without the leg braces. But after they removed the braces, they were amazed to see Wilma could walk on her own. So these are the braces, the leg braces. They were stunned, they were amazed, they were astonished by what this young girl could do despite having contracted a crippling disease. A crippling disease is a disease that leaves the people unable to move or walk properly, and there was no cure for it, or there was no treatment or medication. From then on, from that time, she decided to never look back. To compensate for the years she had been in braces, she became extremely. Dear grade 6 students, so this is the explanation video part 2 for our lesson She Had to Walk Before She Could Run. In paragraph 7, they said that Wilma's brothers set a basketball hoop in the backyard of their house, and they started playing basketball every day, all day. And then she became an avid or enthusiastic or excited, or we can say very interested basketball player at school. And when she was at school, there was a track coach from Tennessee State University. His name was Ed Temple. He saw her in a basketball tournament, which is a basketball competition or championship, and he was extremely impressed and astonished and amazed by her athletic ability and potential. And he said, or he thought that her potential could be developed, so he invited her to attend a sports camp, and it was the turning point for Wilma's life because it changed dramatically, and this time for the better. So Wilma ran on a track, she loved it. When she was just 16 years old, she was qualified for the 1956 Summer Olympic Games in Melbourne, Australia. So she was considered as ready and prepared and trained to attend the Summer Olympic Games. And the promising athlete came home after the games wearing the bronze medal. She had won in the relay race, which means that she was in the third place. After high school, Wilma was awarded a full scholarship, so she was able to study or to major in education at Tennessee State University for free because she was a great athlete. But once again, one more time, she had to overcome and face challenges because in 1958, she, having put her shoulder to the wheel both in class and during track and field events, she became too ill to run, which means that she worked hard in both classes, studying and running and training, and she was unable to run. She had a tonsillectomy, the surgical removal of the tonsils, but she felt better and started to run again. But unfortunately, she pulled a muscle at a track meet in 1959, so her coach at Temple had to implement or to put or make a new plan for her recovery in order to get better. So Wilma recovered just in time to qualify or to attend the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome. When she was racing by her own in her individual sprints, she outshone her competition and won 2 gold medals with ease. She was the first in both the races. And during the relay event, however, the team comprised of 4 athletes from Tennessee State. So the team was consisted of or composed of 4 athletes or 4 members, but they found themselves in hot water because they thought that Wilma was better than them. So after passing the baton, after passing the stick, Wilma had to pick up her pace and run like the wind. So she had to run very fast in order to complete the last leg of the race. So she was the last one and she had to win it. So Wilma became the first American woman in track and field to win 3 gold medals. So she was considered the first American woman who won 3 gold medals in racing. So of her feeling of accomplishment, she said she knew it was something nobody could ever take away from me forever. So she was very proud of herself and she was very happy. So the summit of Wilma's career might have been her achievement as an Olympic athlete. Okay, we can say that she was a great athlete, she was an amazing Olympic athlete, but also she went on to accomplish much more. After graduating from college, she started teaching in school and coaching track. So she became then a track coach. She started traveling and giving speeches to school audiences to inspire others to do their best in spite of all challenges and difficulties. And she said that triumph can't be had without struggle. So if you want to win, if you want to succeed, you have to work very hard. So triumph can be had without struggle. Wilma achieved her dreams and even after helped others reach theirs by her encouraging speeches that she made all over the country.